I do this thing every year where I go in and I rate my favorite games of the year. Typically when I play these games, I try to not like throw out a bunch of opinions. You know, you make up your own mind. I just play the game. But for Christmas Day every year, I come out with this favorite games of the year. I've thinned this list out to be nothing early access, and I play a lot of early access stuff. So this is all like full release stuff that came out this year. And also, these videos always seem to like have a bigger reach for some reason for folks that aren't normally watching my channel. So if you're not normally watching my channel, and you're on YouTube and you're watching this, I don't play the typical stuff, I suppose. I really go with the more niche indie games, and so that's what this list is all about. You probably won't see a lot of these in other lists. Baldur's Gate, you know, probably should belong in the top spot. It's not on my list. I didn't play enough of it to be able to deserve a spot. But we'll go through the list. I've got I've got a ranking of, I got 11 games here altogether. Other than the top 3, they're not really in any particular order. So the top 8 sort of kind of bounce around in the top spots, and in the top 3 I've separated those. So if you have any questions, if you're live here, ask away. If you're in YouTube watching later, ask away. I'll try to answer. If you have anything that you think I should have tried that I didn't try, shout that out as well. So we'll start out with the first 2 I'm going to start with are free games. Every November I do a free games month, and so I want to highlight 2 like free games that really stood out this year that I think deserve to be in the list. They're not necessarily like best game of the year, but best and free is what these 2 are all about. And the first one is Moonring. I guess we'll do a bigger so we can see this thing. So this one is made by, this one came out earlier this year. Like all of them were 2023 here. And this one is, it's very like if you play the old like Ultima games, made by one of the Fable devs, completely free. And typically when you think of like a free game, you're going in with something like, I don't know, you don't expect much, but there's a lot into this one, and it's very surprising how much was actually in the game. And a lot of these on this list, they are more, if I find myself playing this a lot more than I expect to play it, then that's kind of what gets it into this list. And so if you like the old timey turn-based RPG roguelike kind of thing, that's what Moonring does really well. Old school without giving you the eye strain. There you go. But yeah, there's a lot more depth in here than what you would expect out of a freebie. The other freebie I want to mention, which I've played a lot in the past, or I played a long time ago, which just hit a version 1.0, and I think it's 1.0. I'm pretty sure that was like earlier this year. But this is Free Call, which is Sid Meier's Colonization. It's just it's like Sid Meier's Colonization 1.5, the one not the newer ish one, but the old Sid Meier's Colonization, you know, the good one. And they have taken that and just built it up, open source, and built it up into more of a Colonization 1.5, where you can add in additional nations and all that has been added into there. So, you know, colonize the world, turn-based strategy, old-timey, 90s style. Best of is good because you play a load of games, so to make your list, the game must be unique and exciting. Yeah, I play a lot of stuff. I do play a lot of things. I don't know how many I hit this year, but I hit a lot of games played this year. So there's some variety. And so the games that stand out most are the ones that are different, you know. So anyway, Free Call for a freebie. Excellent. Fantastic. Could easily sell, but that's beside the point. Let's go to like what I've got in my numbered list of games. So we're going to have Mercury Fallen, which came out in 1.0 this year. I think this one's probably best summed up as a like if you like RimWorld but you want like a tamer RimWorld, I think this is probably what fits in here. It's got like a little bit of a 3D feel to it. The reason I've put it on my list is because it has two phases to it. So you've got the colony building phase, right? You know, building underground and all that kind of stuff. But then you go above ground, and you've got a whole separate like part of the game where you go above ground and you're building bases out there and kind of exploring the landscape, in addition to building your base down below, which I think is pretty cool. And there you go. In my list, Mercury Fallen by Nitrous Butterfly. I try to get this list out. I try to get this thing out Christmas because that's when the winter sale is going on. So if you're considering things, I think any of these would probably be happy on your list if they strike your fancy. Sumerians is number, what am I on? Number 8. This is basically a, if you remember the old Pharaoh, the old Caesar games, this is that. It's just a new version of it. It's pretty strongly similar to those. And it came out 1.0 this year. Build yourself a ziggurat, and it's I say Caesar, so it's not like the, you know, on Caesar you had to like have the paths and the people had to follow the paths. It's not as strict as that, but it's very casual. It's a very casual ancient Bronze Age city builder, and I like the calmness of it, of playing a nice laid back colony builder. For number 8, number 7. I play a lot of Stardew Valley games. There's a lot of them out there now, and this one is my favorite of the bunch. And I think I like it better than Stardew. I think it's more the I think the setting I like better. Where this one is sort of, you know, Stone Age style, and you're going around building up your town. There's multiple tribes out there. But again, very Stardew-like, where you go around and you're going to be kind of, you know, making babies and all that kind of stuff. Well, no babies, but making families and all that. Cooking, recipes, the whole farming sim thing with Stardew Valley, but in a like a Stone Age kind of thing. And I think it's really well done, and it's my favorite of the many that I have played over the past few years. Now, there's a lot of them now. Like, it seems like everybody and their dog has a Stardew Valley-like game. And this one's a good one. What do we got? Oh, number 6 is Space Wreck. It's kind of like Fallout, and it's a very old-timey. Maybe I just like old games. I think I'm starting to come to a realization here. I like old games that have been made new. So, Space Wreck, if you play the old Fallout, where you are, you know, that sort of isometric thing. This one came out a few months ago here, but it's a sci-fi style one. And the reason that this one is on my list, why is there an ad starting right now? No ad. I just did an ad break. Did I not hit the button? No, boo ads. The reason I put this on my list is not that it's RPG style, you know, that kind of thing. The thing I liked about this one and why it stood out is the way that there's no wrong or right way to do something. Well, I guess there's always wrong ways. There's no right way to do something. And the way you build your character, there's quite a bit of variety in how you build your character. You can do, like, you know, you be walk around punching things. You want to sneak around the place. You want to hack the place. You want to chat your way through. The game sort of responds to the way that you play the game, if that makes sense. Openness is the word. And it's a really short game, but for that Fallout style isometric RPG with the very, very, very open style and open-ended, maybe not open-ended, but open way of playing the game. No wrong way to play the game. That's number 6. Number 5. Yeah, I think I just like old games, because this one, Urbex, I really like colony builders, you know, like RimWorld or Dwarf Fortress or whatever. What I like about Urbex is it kind of scratches that, like, the old SimCity 2000 itch. Not a huge fan of, like, city builders, like City Skylines, you know. It's fun, but it just doesn't do it for me. And this one does, because it's like SimCity 2000. It's almost like a SimCity 2000, blended with like a pharaoh, where you've got to like provide resources to a certain town, and depending on where the town is, it'll build up differently, which is what I like most about it. So you can have like if you build on the beach next to a couple different things, you'll get beach housing, like over here or whatever. You got lots of trees, you'll get like park housing, and then the other reason that I put this on the old list and is the Defend the City update that they did, which I guess this is what came out this year, and which made it crazy, like a city builder where you're trying to, like, things are blowing up, you're like in a war zone, there's tanks everywhere, fantastic. I loved it, and this is one that I think I planned to play it for like 30 minutes. I ended up playing it for a lot longer. So they had this seafood disco yesterday. I decided to go to. I shouldn't have, though. I pulled a muscle. Next up, number you had to change my thing. Number 4 is .age, where like Sumerians and Mercury Fallen, they're all like they're the tame colony builders, Foundation, these kinds of things, where they're very calm. Like there's not a lot of threat to it. There's a little bit of threat, but nothing crazy. .age is well, you see people running around with their head on fire. It's a turn-based like colony builder, but also like a worker placement colony builder, which is a very interesting way of changing it up, making it different. Survival roguelike, it calls it, turn-based city builder. Doomsday's coming here, and so the town's going to burn at some point, and you got to try to survive that apocalypse, basically. And by moving your people around and building a town, and the town all burns away, then you come back and do it all over again. And yeah, and all solo developed. If over a long time, I remember I sent him an email years ago asking to check out the demo, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll get you one as soon as I'm ready for it." And that was like 5 years ago. But he came through. I got a link to it to play it, show it off. It's good stuff. For if you like it's almost like if you wanted to play a colony builder, but a board game version of a colony builder. That's what .age is. I suppose that probably fits it in best. Oh, you know what? There you go. So this is how I judge all of my stuff on top list here. I finished recording the video and played for 30 more turns without realizing it and turned off the recording. So yeah, if you're playing for a while and then like back in my recording days and I hit stop on recording, but I keep on playing. Yeah, that usually makes it on the list. So Splattercat, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. All right, are we on the top 3? Top 3. All right, top 3. Number 3, Against the Storm. This one, again, if you like the calmness of Sumerians or Mercury Fallen or Foundation, then this is probably not for you. This is a much more frantic colony builder, a dark fantasy colony builder. And again, like things are falling apart, and it's a tough thing to get right. I've played a few of these that are like, you build a town and then things fall apart and you got to go build another town. But they're all the same, like I just got done building a town. I don't want to build another town. That's usually the theme whenever I play these kinds of things. This one does it really well of making every town different, and every town's going to develop different. And plays different, and yeah, could easily be number 1. That's these top 3 could easily, each of these could easily be number 1. Just kind of sprinkle them about wherever they want to be. But if you want a colony builder, that's difficult, but also not hours and hours like RimWorld. You can spend hours and hours and hours or whatever. This you can get a game played in an hour and a half or so, or a town built, and you go back and build a town. Yeah. This is good stuff. Against the Storm. I'll stop saying it's good stuff because obviously that's the point, because it's top 10 list, top 11 list. All right, number 2, Terra Nil. I think this one has a soft spot because I played it so early on. I played it back in like its Game Jam days when it was just a little pixel game. And since then, it developed into what it is now. Again, a casual, nice. If you're into like Dwarf Romantic, I forgot I have notes over here. I should look at these. If you're into like Dwarf Romantic or Islanders, I put this down as this is a comfy game. And one of those games where like, this is one of the games where like on those days when I'm sick, I can't stream. And I just got to sit back here and cough or whatever. I play games like Terra Nil, Dwarf Romantic, that kind of stuff. It's not like it's not difficult. It's challenging, but not difficult. It's just I should show you pictures. It's a terraforming game. You come up with this lifeless planet, and you got to sort of start building the planet. And you know what? Sort of like how Urbex plays, where you set up different biomes. In that one, in Urbex, you get different biomes of city. In this one, you get different biomes of biomes and different animals popping up into the land. And yeah, it's I love seeing some of my favorite things about doing YouTube, the way that I do YouTube, where I play all this old stuff, or not old stuff. I'll play all this early stuff, like pre-release sometimes, game jam things, and then seeing them develop over time and turn into things like this. You see the difference with Terra Nil when it first came, like in the game jam days versus what it turned into. It's fantastic. I like it. I'm not saying that again. But anyway, there's number 2. Number 1. I want to mention before I say number 1 that these are my favorite full release games of 2023. I left out, obviously, Dwarf Fortress is not in here. Songs of Six is not in here, but it certainly deserves a spot in my favorite games that I played this year. But it's still in early development. If it hits 1.0 next year, it'll be number 1. No ruining that. I'm sorry I spoiled it, but there you go. Keeper RL, which I played the I played the pre-release version of 1.0, and so Keeper RL probably qualifies for this list, but I didn't put it in there. But it tops all of these for next year. Keeper RL. I don't know which one I'm going to pick. Keeper RL or Songs of Six. This is going to be a tough choice next year. But so there you go. So if it's in early access, I kept it off the list. There's a few other ones. Micro Civilization. I like that one quite a bit. There's another one I had on there on my list that I just removed, but my mind went blank. What's it called? I don't remember. I'll look it up in a minute. I can't leave it enough. Anyway, number 1. Thank you for the ad snooze. Number 1 is Delta V Rings of Saturn. This one is a physics-based mining sim. Sounds thrilling, doesn't it? Well, it's more thrilling than it sounds. I suppose, like, I was trying to like figure out how am I going to word this one. Why is this my favorite game? And this is the one I struggle with the most. It definitely is number 1. Well, yeah, it's number 1. I said 1, 2, and 3 could all interchange. Maybe not this one. This one's the best. I think the thing is about it is the game is like figuring out the game. By the way, so if you haven't seen the game before, you're just a mining ship. You're out in Saturn. You're on a space station. You build up your mining ship and you go out and you mine. Collect some bits up. Grab your bits. Go back to the station. Make money. Maybe hire a crew. Build yourself a new ship. Go back out there again. And I think the thing that makes me like the game, that's a weird way of saying it, is that someone in here in the review said it, I think, pretty well. Where progression isn't linear. Where like you're not like there isn't like go from point to point to point and try to find, you build this ship, then you go out and you get a better ship, and then you go get a better ship. The way you play the game is just how you play the game. You play it what works best for you, I suppose. And probably the biggest part of the game is just trying to figure out the game. There's a lot of it does a good job of like what Vampire Survivors does, which I think is where like you'll play a bit and it'll hook you with like what a roguelite does. Where it'll hook you with the new power-ups or whatever. This one does it where something strange happens, and so you got to play some more to see what's going on. You come by and there's some, something else happens, and whoa, you got to figure out and play more. I don't know if it made any sense, but this is by Codera Software. It's been out, in full release since July. I played early access for a while. I've got 8 hours on record, which doesn't sound like a lot. That's a lot for me. I don't usually 10 hours is not rare for me to hit on most games. Just because I play something different every day. But this is one I happily come back to every once in a while. Ridiculous. Yeah, the game is ridiculously nerdy. That's it. Yeah, it is. It's hard sci-fi, which is rare. I think maybe that's what I like about it. It's not like, we're not like laser swords and wizards, or whatever. It's a hard sci-fi, so it's more of like a realistic thing with strange things going on. And there you go. There is my list. That's all I got. And yeah, I think every single one of these is on sale. This one is super cheap, $6 right now. But there you go. There is my 2023 list of favorite games. I don't think I forgot any, but we'll see what happens next year, because we're gonna have a few 1.0s coming out next year, and I don't know what I'm gonna put in there. But there we go.